Why is our friend Dave placing his last bit of cash on a third division soccer match in Mongolia while his fridge is so empty the light bulb is complaining about loneliness? Dave isn't stupid. Dave is the victim of a sophisticated biological hack. Today we're going to understand why those struggling financially are specifically drawn to casinos and betting apps. We're going to dissect Dave's brain to see how he's being scientifically manipulated and why hope is the world's best-selling, yet most lethal commodity. So, why does Dave play anyway? Let's look at the logic. Dave makes $3,000 a month. He spends $2,000 on rent and bills, and with the remaining $1,000, he decides to invest in a slot machine. Mathematically, the house always wins. That's not a rumor. It's the house edge, a mathematical formula ensuring the casino takes a percentage of every dollar that enters. So, why does Dave ignore the math? Because of what psychologists call the availability heuristic. Dave doesn't see the millions of people who lost their shirts and went home to eat 25-cent ramen. Instead, he remembers that influencer he saw in a YouTube ad winning $100,000 on a single parlay. Dave's brain, hardwired from ancient times to find berries in the woods, tells him, since I saw that guy win easily, winning must be available to everyone. The famous Tversky and Kahneman study proved that humans estimate the probability of events based on how easily they can recall examples of them. Casinos know this. They plaster photos of winners everywhere and make sure the bells and whistles only go off when someone wins. But the losers? They disappear in total silence. Dave sees the flashing lights and thinks his turn is next, ignoring that his odds of hitting the jackpot are lower than the odds of being struck by lightning, while riding a unicorn through Times Square. How are they playing him? Dave is now inside the casino, or worse, on the app. The developers who designed these games? They're psychological wizards with honors degrees. They have two main tools to keep Dave hooked. First, the illusion of control. Dave loves games that ask him to do something. He thinks if he presses the button with a certain rhythm or chooses Powerball numbers based on his cat's birthday, he has a better shot. Professor Ellen Langer proved that people bet significantly more when they feel they have a hand in the process. The bitter truth? Dave has zero control. The machine is pre-programmed, but giving him a spin button makes him feel like the captain of his ship when he's actually just a passenger on a sinking one. Second, the near-miss effect. Imagine Dave at a slot machine. The first cherry appears, then the second, and the third is just half an inch off. Dave screams, "Oh man, I was so close!" Sorry, Dave, but in gambling, close is just a fancy word for total loss. However, MRI scans show that Dave's brain reacts to a near miss exactly the same way it reacts to a real win. Dopamine floods in, and his brain says, "You almost had it. Next time, for sure." Casinos program machines to repeat these moments on purpose. It's the fuel that keeps Dave in that seat until his wallet is empty. Why Dave keep playing while losing? Now we reach the tragic stage. Dave has lost $800 of his $1,000. Logic says, stop, Dave, save the last $200. But Dave has a different plan. Welcome to the sunk cost fallacy. Dave tells himself, I've spent 5 hours and lost $800. I can't stop now or it was all for nothing. I have to keep going to get my money back. Dave doesn't realize those $800 are gone. Continuing doesn't guarantee a recovery. It only guarantees losing the remaining $200. Dave is investing in his loss. Then, the biggest beast of all steps in, the gambler's fallacy. Dave looks at the roulette scoreboard. He sees black has come up 5 times in a row. He smiles confidently and puts everything on red. Why? Because he thinks the universe must balance out, and red is due. Dave, the ball has no memory, and the wheel doesn't feel guilty. The probability of red is always roughly 50%, regardless of what happened before. But Dave's brain insists on inventing patterns in total randomness. Brain chemistry. While Dave is losing, his neural reward system is redlining. Dopamine isn't just released when you win. It's released during the anticipation of winning. For someone under financial stress, these moments are a numbing agent for the reality of poverty. Gambling for him isn't about the money as much as it is about buying hope for another 10 minutes. So, how to save yourself? Dave is now broke and looking for a payday loan. Before you become Dave, here are some scientific and practical solutions. Accept that your human brain is not equipped to fight algorithms designed by neuroscientists. Don't try to beat the machine with intelligence. The machine isn't smart. It just has math that will eventually crush you. Turn your gambling budget into a real investment. Put that money into an index fund or invest in projects that have growth potential. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your homework. But historically, math-based investing beats a slot machine every single time. Use your extra cash to learn a new skill. Mastering a trade or a digital skill is your real emergency exit from poverty. Delete the betting apps. Unsubscribe from those casino emails. Dave falls because the temptation is in his pocket 24/7. Reduce the availability to reduce the bias. In the end, Dave isn't a bad guy or a dummy. He's just a human caught in the contradictions of his own mind. Poverty makes gambling look like an emergency exit, when it's actually a carefully designed dead end. Casinos aren't built on the winnings of the lucky. They are built on the dreams of people like Dave who thought they were smarter than math. Remember, the only guaranteed way to make money from gambling is not to play. Now, our question for you. Have you ever had a Dave moment? Ever felt like red had to come up next and lost it all? Or do you know a Dave in real life who is hurting their future because of the illusion of control? Share your stories in the comments. One story might save another Dave from losing his rent money next month. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, not because it increases your lottery odds, but because it increases the odds of your money staying in your pocket.